Welcome back, folks. My name's Joesbad, and this is my Minecraft Let's Play world. And today, I am currently digging a hole in the side of the valley to connect up with a cave system so that I can create that entrance that the pillagers blew in the side of this valley when they first attacked it all those ages ago. That same stuff that Henry was telling us about. So I have kind of set my mind to doing this task. However, this task is going to take a really long time without a beacon. And so I'm going to see how long it takes me to do at least a portion of all of this as I'm clearing away here. And then I will decide whether or not I really want to use a beacon for it. So I've got a lot of work here to do. No matter what, I will do something more engaging than just clearing away an entire mountain this episode. But I want to at least make a somewhat decent dent. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of a time lapse to get us to a point where I get tired of digging. I hardly made a dent, and I'm already regretting my decision to not get myself a beacon before undertaking this project. So let's go to the Nether. Alright, I made my way to the Nether, and now I am at the spot where I'm going to connect my already existing... Excuse me, sir. I am in the middle of talking to my audience. Please leave me alone. Wait, where'd you go? Anyways... So what was I doing? I am currently setting up an entryway for when I dig down into my nether tunnels. I prefer to tunnel through the nether than to use the nether roof, because when you're tunneling through the bottom of the nether, you find a lot more ancient debris. I haven't found much so far, but I do know that it's a good method. So now I've connected the tunnel all the way back to my main compound. This tunnel is 1 wide. I normally make it 2 wide. But there's a massive lava lake in the middle, and yeah, filling this thing in was just far too time-consuming, and I don't want to make it double wide. So instead, we're just going to have a single wide passage this way, and this should lead all the way to the ancient city, as well as leading all the way back to base camp, which is fantastic. But now, we need to start trying to figure out how wither skeleton farms work. Now, I'm going to admit here, I have a very minimal understanding of the mechanics of a wither skeleton farm. I know that you need to build it on a nether fortress, and I know that you need to manage the spawn locations for things. So this is the chunk of fortress that I'm going to convert into a farm. I'm not sure what I'm doing. I refuse to look up any tutorials for this. I want to figure it out on my own, and I want to figure out a way to make it functional. While I was clearing things out, I did manage to find a piece of ancient debris all the way up here, which was quite fun. So yeah, I got one of those. Let's clear all this away, and let's get back to what was I talking about? Right. So I know I need to make a platform for the wither skeletons to spawn, and I know I need to prevent mobs from spawning elsewhere. So that means slabbing a huge chunk of the nether. Now, I've heard a few different numbers on what you're supposed to do in other people's videos. Again, no tutorials, just, like an SMP or whatever. They talk about the farm. And all of them can agree, you need to slab a huge chunk of the nether. I don't think you need to slab as much as they think you do, though. Oh, look, see? My platform's already working. I've got a wither skeleton. Anyways... So my theory is if I turn my render distance down all the way, then realistically, I only need to probably slab, I don't know, what, 3 chunks out from the center of my farm. Then again, there's also, yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm going to start out by just slabbing out about 2 chunks out from where this farm is. There's a huge lava lake next door as well. But I'm going to go ahead and let's time-lapse some slabbing here. All right, I have slabbed out about 3 chunks in each direction from where the center, where I want things to be prevented from spawning. And I've got my render distance turned down, but I know there's a lot more slabbing I need to do. However, I'm mostly just checking to see if this minimum size will work, and I think I'm actually going to be better off checking that in a creative world, just to kind of teach myself a little bit more about mob spawns. So yeah, I'm going to need to slab all of this too. All right, and now we are over here in a creative world that I guess this is just going to become my creative testing world. So here we go. I threw together this, basically a mob spawner, with the hopes of seeing how render distance and chunk distance have an impact on mob spawns. So I've got this just to kind of light up to give me a little room to move around because we're in the overworld, so I don't have to worry about those. I need to fix this real quick. Okay, fixed. And what was I saying? Right, so I've got about 25 chunks that I've made spawn-proofed, except for the central chunk, which I've turned into a spawner. The bottom floor is lit up enough that nothing's going to spawn. But the inside here is like up above. I've got an elevator here in the center that'll just let me check the different floors so I can see the different distances I need to be in order for mobs to spawn on these platforms. Being down at the bottom seems to allow bats to spawn up top here, so I'm hopeful that being down at the bottom would allow for regular mobs to spawn. I'm bad at honey elevators. Yeah, so let's check this. All right, I threw together a platform that's about 50 blocks above the top floor, and then there's, 4 blocks between each floor, so descending downward. And it looks like I've got mobs that have spawned on the top floor, but now I need to switch into spectator mode, and that way, when you're in spectator mode, the world doesn't really react to you, so I'm pretty sure mobs won't spawn around me, so I can now check to see where mobs have spawned. And it looks like, yes, they're definitely on the top floor, nothing on the next floor, and nothing down below. So I'm pretty sure that means that 50 blocks is the maximum before mobs don't spawn. And then out here on the edges, we have slimes, which, okay, that means that this is less promising. All right, with that test done, that means that I have a lot of work to do still. So let's go ahead and check back in on the regular world. All right, the platform is finished, at least in its initial stage, but there's still a lot of work to do. And I managed to get 0 wither skeleton skulls from this. In fact, all of my wither skeleton skulls came from within the fortress while I was running around trying to get more nether brick. This is just one of them. I couldn't find the other clips. But I've got all 3 of my wither skeleton skulls now, which means I'm ready to take on a wither. But I don't really feel ready to go fight a wither. So I think what I'm going to do is just take all of my nice little wither skeleton bits and put them in a box. And just we'll tuck them in right here with the little unconstructed wither. We're going to tuck this in the ender chest until I've got a chance to brew up a bunch of potions and get some more resources and better armor and things. Right, so we'll tuck that there. Now, as much as I would love to end this episode with a wither fight, I'm just not ready for a wither fight yet. So instead, I'm going to call it here, and next episode, we'll do a little more preparation, and then it's time to fight the wither. So thanks for watching, and I'll keep you guys updated on this farm as I go.